I've always had a strong disdain for allegories and analogies, especially when they're used to make sweeping generalizations about how we should live our lives today. Lately, my feeds have been flooded with self-proclaimed experts who base their entire worldview on romanticized notions of the hunter-gatherer lifestyle. They promote ideas about masculinity and societal structure, even biology, all rooted in faulty comparisons to our prehistoric ancestors. In this video, I want to dissect some of these absurd claims and examine the flawed logic that lies behind them. Join me in exploring what a more realistic, nuanced view of a human community left to its own devices would look like. Let's inspect these simplistic narratives by actually considering real-world examples as well as engaging in a little bit of critical thinking. Before we dive in, if you enjoy this content and like to challenge common ideas and dig deeper into issues, be sure to hit the subscribe button and click on the notification bell. That way you'll never miss a chance to explore new perspectives with me. One of the most frustrating claims out there is this idea that men are less valuable than women from a reproductive standpoint. You hear it all the time from people like Andrew Tate, promoting this notion that men need to be alphas in every situation, and it feeds into a very toxic competitive mindset. This is just a complete oversimplification, and they justify it by saying things like, if you have 10 men and 10 women and 9 men die in battle, the one surviving man can still repopulate. And on the surface this seems logical, but let's dig a little bit deeper into this idea. Imagine a scenario where you have 1 man and 9 women on a desert island. The man, if he is able to reproduce with all of the women, is going to be completely overwhelmed, especially during the 9 months and the several years afterwards when children are being raised, in any setting, especially pre-agricultural settings. Basic survival tasks are going to become near impossible with such an imbalance in the group. On the other hand, if you take 5 men and 5 women, the workload and responsibilities are going to be much easier to distribute, and this is going to create an environment where overall survival for everybody becomes significantly more likely. If you're given the choice of these two situations, any smart person should be picking one where there is a reasonable gender balance. It doesn't have to be 50-50, but it needs to be damn well close to it. The only way that the 1 man, 9 women scenario works is if the women start to take on what a lot of these influencers dub as male roles. This ironically undermines a lot of the points that they're making about who should be doing what kind of work. Now, in a survival situation, in nature itself, adaptation and flexibility are far more important than having rigid roles. You see, nature doesn't care about the roles, nature cares about survival. And when we look at these influences, we find that in fact the very thing that they are promoting, which is going back to a natural way of life, is very unnatural because it is fixed and rigid. And in the words of Lao Tzu, thus whoever is stiff and inflexible is a disciple of death. Whoever is soft and yielding is a disciple of life. And I would say that whatever is a disciple of life is natural. For nature is, in its essence, to live and continue living. Another popular claim is that if you don't reproduce, you're somehow an evolutionary dead end, as if your worth is solely determined by passing on your genes. This idea gets pushed by people who say that by choosing not to have children, you're somehow missing the purpose of life, but this again is nonsense when we examine it. Let us take for example Michel de Montaigne, the French philosopher whose essays have had such a profound influence on Western thought for centuries now. Montaigne himself saw the lack of children as a blessing, allowing him freedom to focus on his writing and reflecting upon his life in a way that has left such an indelible mark on humanity. To claim that somebody like Montaigne is a dead end because he didn't have children is absurd. His legacy endures not through his offspring, but through his thoughts and ideas that resonate across generations. Even in nature, there's more to evolutionary success than just reproducing. An ant colony, for example, have numerous non-reproductive workers who are essential to the colony's survival. These ants aren't failures because they don't reproduce. Instead, they play a crucial role in protecting and sustaining the group as a whole, ensuring that their shared genetic material continues through the colony's success. In human society, those that don't have children often contribute in valuable ways, whether that's through art, science, or simply through supporting others. The idea that people who don't reproduce are less valuable, or that nature will punish this non-reproduction genetically, is foolish. In a thriving community, it's not just about the individuals who pass on their genes, but it is about the community passing on its genes. So communities that have people less likely to reproduce, such as gay men, lesbian women, these people still play a critical role in that community. And if the community thrives as a result of it, then the community's genes are more likely to be passed on, thus ensuring that there will be more gay men, lesbian women, because they have proved to be successful. What is natural and beneficial to society isn't simply what's effective for a single individual's genetic legacy. It's what ensures the survival of the entire group. And as Montaigne's life shows us, sometimes the most lasting impact doesn't come from creating direct descendants, but from creating ideas that can shape the world. Another thing that bugs me with these so-called experts is how they glamorize this hunter-gatherer physique as if everybody back then was a muscle-bound warrior capable of wrestling a woolly mammoth. They often use this to criticize men today who don't fit a hyper-masculine body image, suggesting that looking a certain way was somehow essential to survival or success. Now, don't get me wrong, taking care of your body and being proud of your achievements is great, whether that's building muscle or getting lean. I'm on week 17 of a 20-week diet myself, and yes, I've got abs and I'm very proud of them. There's absolutely nothing wrong in striving for physical goals if they align with your personal values and enhance your confidence. But the problem starts to arrive when people act as though looking a certain way is more important than actually being useful. In a tribal setting, or even in our modern day lives, what matters isn't how you look, but whether or not you can contribute something meaningful. Physical prowess isn't just about having abs and big biceps, it's about being efficient, whether that's hunting, problem solving, or supporting other people. The substance is always what trumps style. This obsession with certain aesthetics is a very modern phenomenon driven by social media and wanting validation. I've seen countless videos claiming that getting ripped changed my life, but frankly, it's not true. The mindset and confidence that comes from this dedication might be great, and maybe that has changed your life, but in reality, a lot of people don't care about your appearance as much as they care about their own appearance. In the real world, whether you're talking about ancient tribes or our modern society, what you bring to the table is far more important in terms of whether or not you're going to get validation, respect, and love from other people. If you're a skilled hunter, if you're a skilled innovator, or if you're just somebody who can just do the difficult work for your community, you're going to be valued and you're going to be respected based upon that. Looks, you might get a few compliments, but it's not going to change your life in the way that being useful is. In conclusion, in today's world, we often prioritize the appearance of success over the actual substance. whether that's in business, fitness, or on social media, there tends to be value to the flower over the fruit, as Miyamoto Musashi aptly put in the Book of Five Rings. We've got entrepreneurs chasing venture capital and making empty promises. We have fitness gurus on steroids for likes, and we've got influencers preaching ideas that fall apart under even basic scrutiny. It's time we stop glorifying these outdated and oversimplified models of what human behaviour actually is, and we start looking at how we can actually make improvements to people's lives. The way forward isn't through clinging to nostalgic views of the past or dreaming about utopian futures. It's about embracing a nuanced understanding right now of what we need in order to make sure our species thrives. If you found this video insightful and you want to join a community that values depth and critical thinking over shallow trends, then please make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. Your support will help me know to continue making videos on these kind of topics that push back against oversimplified narratives. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.